traditional art, and why I focus on traditional art in a world where there's a lot of digital art. Now, I'm not hating on digital art. I have no issues with the guys that do digital art. You guys are amazing. You do amazing stuff. I completely understand why some people prefer the digital side of things to traditional. Traditional can sometimes seem as way more expensive over time because you're constantly buying materials, you're constantly buying paper, and so it's a bit more of an investment, a better investment early on to get an iPad, a Wacom. I've had a Wacom. Long story short, that's how I started with digital. I had one of those Wacom Intios, the ones where you draw and look at the screen, and now I even have an iPad through hard work and saving, and I still balance it as an artist. I still need to do stickers, I still do some digital art as well. I'll probably try and post some in the future. I've kind of just always stuck with the pencils and the paper throughout the years. I've always drawn that way. That's always how it's been for me growing up, and so I've just chosen it as my path. That's what I want to do, that's what I want to be better at. And I think the fundamentals involve physically drawing, physically understanding how to draw on the bare basics. And for me, that is the pencil, that is the paper, that's the entire point. Some people do that and then they move on to digital, and it makes them even better. And I think that in my head is the process. This is my opinion. By all means, some people do it their way. Every single journey is different for every person. But I just believe it makes me stronger as an artist. It makes me better and more well-informed. And it humbles you. It humbles you. There's no undo. You gotta manually erase. And as funny as it is, going from the iPad or going from the Wacom or doing anything digital and going immediately back to traditional, I almost feel in the back of my mind like, hey, I want to undo this quick, and I can't. But it forces you and pushes you to make mistakes first, plan out things, and structure things in a way that you have a process and a routine every time that you are drawing. And the way that you go about it makes you more efficient and makes you more productive, because every single time that you go to the page, you're going to know what you want to do. And sometimes looking at the iPad, for me personally, it can be a bit daunting because I can use any color in the world, I can use any brush in the world, I can undo however many times, I can create this, I can do that. And with pencil, I kind of understand by this point, what I'm able to do with a pencil, and I understand what I'm able to do with a pen. Now, the ability for me to take that and produce something even cooler or more ambitious or on a different scale is all based around my imagination, my creativity, the references I use, what I love. So that aspect of it is still there. I kind of just feel like it's more structured and it's a bit slower. And it's less overwhelming for me because it's something that I know. There's still moments in it where I feel uncomfortable and I feel that I need to push myself. That's evident, it's always going to be there. But that's just my little tidbit on that. I obviously prefer and I love pencil. Literally any pencil. I usually use B, 2B, 4B, anywhere between those. 6B, 8B, I don't really use that often. It doesn't really matter, but that's just kind of the range. I think I'll make another video where I'll talk about what I use, but it is standard, but I'll do it anyway. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you use, and I think that's why I love traditional, because I can do the same thing with a B pencil that I can with a 8B pencil. Arguably, it's just the value that you get. The 8B is obviously going to be darker, right? But I could still theoretically or like practically draw the same thing. It just won't be the same value. And so it kind of pushes you to just use whatever and draw what you want in the first place. And you're not looking for this brush that gives you texture. Instead, you are forcing yourself to think about light, to think about texture, to think about how do I achieve this result, instead of just clicking, there's your texture, there you go, or clicking, there's your light setting. And I'm not saying it makes it easy. There are some people that do amazing stuff that perfectly understand how to give light and how to add texture digitally and really work it into their piece. But I think it's a bit more humbling, and it takes a bit more technical skill to be able to do something on paper and make it look effective and last and look brilliant. And I push myself to reach that level. I push myself to try and master the traditional way of an artist. And it has its challenges, it has its issues. Obviously, you have to constantly make sure that your tools are sharp, and that you have the tools to sharpen, and those can be sometimes costly. But for me, I've got a day job, so I'm able to fund those things, and I'm fortunate enough for that. But it's making sure that you constantly have your erasers, your pencils, your pens. I think pens are, just grab one. I think these, as a traditional artist, not everybody draws or does anything with pen, but I think these are absolutely amazing. If you're on a budget and you have only so much money to spend towards art, get paper. Paper is not so bad. You can get good budget paper, and you get a few of these, you get a whole pack. You can draw forever, literally. And this is just a standard Bic on my grip that I use. Pens are the way, for sure. Pens are the way, and you can get some nice shading, clean lines, good value. All you need is a pen. And pencils are a bit different. You obviously want a range to work from so that you can get different values and different outcomes. But I think the challenges arrive with trying to get, like I was saying, the texture, trying to get the outcome that you want. Like if I'm doing a piece that is based on realism, I want to get the same values, the same sweat, the same pause, the same emotion, the same everything from that reference or from that element that I'm trying to do in realism. And achieving that is difficult, but that's also why I love it. I want to think about the psychology, the thought, the process behind it. I want to get that done, because it kind of just adds another tool in my bag, because once I've figured it out, I know how to do it for the next one and the next one and so forth. So that's kind of the biggest challenge. I think there's always going to be boring stuff that you need to do in a piece, and there's always going to be fun stuff, and I have a lot of dark backgrounds in my stuff, so there's a lot of black and having to put that in, and sometimes that is boring. Other times it's just something that you need to get done. Sometimes it's soothing, it's a vibe, put on music and just go at it to the background. But it's different every time. And I think the second point is it's always going to be rewarding. Being able to do something that I can look at right now, like I can pull this right now, and to be able to pull something, right, and look at it every day, and be able to showcase it in its best form. Like, this isn't fully done yet, right? But every day that I look at it physically, I know that I can't go back. I can't do something different. I can't change the background. The background's how it is. The values that are in are the values that are in. And it's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect, but it's getting there. And you can work on it, and you can still layer, and you can still add things, and you can still take away where you're able to. But that's the beauty of it. Once it's there, and you just have to work with it. You just have to understand it, and you just have to appreciate it. I hope that makes sense. And I think one of my main reasons why I chose this and why I do it is, apart from the tactile nature of it, just feeling more grounded and feeling more in it. Sometimes with digital, everything feels glossy or everything feels clean and nice, and with my work, it's never nice. I'm a messier artist. I use traditional tools. Like, it's almost like a Frankenstein workshop, and I love it. I love everything about it. It's not supposed to be perfect. The process isn't supposed to be perfect. It's not all supposed to look clean. And that's one of my main things. And the fact that I'm able to think about paper, to think about pencils, to think about, like, in the same breath that I can say it doesn't matter what you use, it's also nice that once you get further as an artist, you can start thinking about what you want to use, which is a privilege. Start to think about what you the results that you want to get, what's the desired outcome of the pencil, how smooth, how rough, the quality of the background, the effects, whatever that you're trying to achieve, the type of paper that you can use that can help you achieve that. Like, you've got smoother paper and you've got more like more watercolor heat and cold press. Like, cold press is, from what I understand, more rough, and heat press is smoother. And though even just the grain on a paper can completely change the effect of something versus a smooth paper, I firmly believe that. But it's that privilege to be able to get to that point where you can think about those subtle things that when someone's passing by, they might not be able to care about or notice. But for me, I can notice, I can understand, and I appreciate it more as the artist, because I know I kind of put every thought and process in place since I started. So that's kind of my thoughts and just why I choose traditional. I think through the years, it's also just been rewarding to look at how far I've come. And this is not for comparison's sake. Some of the points aren't really comparison. Once again, this is my opinion. It's just how I feel. I just feel like this is my calling, and this is what I really want to do and focus on in art. And I've reached that point where it is traditional for me. I still do digital, like I said. I still want to. I think you should always be varied in what you do as an artist. There's things to focus on, and there's things that you can kind of do for fun, to expand your skills, knowledge, and understanding, and also for yourself. And this is, for me, the most freeing thing that I can do, that also gives me purpose and direction. And yeah, there's nothing that I love more than having my sharp pencils ready, having a fresh piece of paper in front of me, being able to just lock in, go at it, get it done, make it rough, messy, and just fine-tune it, make it cleaner, make it nicer, think about detail, think about how this is going to look throughout the process, what I need it to be. And mistakes happen, things change. Sometimes you get halfway in something and you don't like the background, or there's an element of it that needs to change. These things happen. But anyway, if you like the video, please consider subscribing. If you want to ask me any questions, or if you have anything that you want to say, you can pop it in the description, in the comment section. I need to get that into my head, in the comment section. And thank you for watching.